Mel who? For the first time in a long time, I feel like I've been derelict in my duties as a Generation X film geek. Oh, sure, me and my kind have done a fine job making sure that Star Wars, Raiders, Goonies, Evil Dead, Rambo, The Collective John Carpenter, even fucking Tron remained at the ubiquitous forefront of popular culture, to such a degree that our millennial ascendants couldn't have avoided absorbing their import even if they wanted to. But now I realize we kind of forgot to tell you how great the Mad Max movies were, which means a lot of my audience probably only knows legendary Australian filmmaker George Miller as the guy behind a string of beloved childhood classics, okay? But still, he did also invent the post-apocalyptic automotive warfare movie, okay? So, sorry about that, but in our defense, the guy who played Mad Max went all cuckoo for Christ and then just plain cuckoo, and everything he was associated with kinda got uncomfortable to talk about for a while. Anyway, now Tom Hardy is playing Mad Max, so it's all good again. If you've never seen a Mad Max movie before, well, it's the future. We've almost run out of oil, but instead of being in any way responsible about that, we've basically let the whole planet go to shit except for all the gas-guzzling, jacked-up supercars on which we now rely more than ever, and look, back in the 80s, this sounded like crazy science fiction instead of an eventuality potentially only one more Bush administration away, alright? Whatever. We rejoin mentally unhinged, wasteland-wandering hardcase Max Rockatansky doing what he does best, getting swept up into chaotic events he wants no part of, but can't bring himself to abandon either. As the film opens, he's captured to be used as a human blood bank for a heavily armed death cult led by the bizarre tyrant Immortan Joe. But no sooner does Max get there than all-out war breaks out when Joe's general Imperator Furiosa is revealed to have helped the Immortans' private harem of breeding wives escape to the open road, triggering an extended, and I do mean across the entire length of the film, combat car chase, with Max himself reluctantly joining Furiosa's quest and helping her fend off the 3 or 4 maniacal factions pursuing them across the desert. And yeah, that's pretty much the movie. The good guys are driving a truckload of hotties across the apocalyptic outback, death metal Darth Vader and his skinhead tweaker suicide army want them back, and they all chase each other around in crazy customized battle cars, wailing on each other with insane weapons and nature occasionally intervening in the form of a death trap marsh and a sandstorm lightning hurricane. The result is an action film the likes of which you've largely never seen before, a seamless fusion of old-fashioned gritty lunacy Miller made famous in the original films and cutting-edge 21st century digital technology and editing techniques that looks even better in the hands of a seasoned master. Action filmmaking that blows by so hard and so fast and so confidently, you almost don't realize how hard it hits until a bit later, when the real depth beneath its deceptive simplicity comes through. It's a conceit of both prior sequels in the franchise that Max is a charismatic, Candide-like figure who stumbles into other people's adventures. But in Fury Road, it's more apparent than ever. This is very much Furiosa's movie. She takes all the initiative, drives all the plot, has all the skin in the game, she even gets to drive the big main battle truck and have the cool robot arm. Max spends most of the first hour with his mouth muzzled so that he can barely speak, and even once he's free, he doesn't talk all that much. This isn't one of those movies where the title character is the only person on Earth who can save us all because the movie says so. He's capable and good to have around, and for the record, Hardy is a commanding enough presence as to make you forget the role was ever recast in the first place, but you get the sense Furiosa would have worked this one out okay on her own. Eventually. Theron proved herself a fearlessly great actress a long time ago, but Furiosa is a revelation. There likely won't be a more strikingly original hero on screen this year. Attention also needs to be paid to a revelatory strong turn by a commanding Rosie Huntington-Whiteley and a nuanced showing for Nicholas Hoult as a luckless would-be foot soldier whose arc forms the philosophical spine of the story. And yes, I said philosophical. While the subsequent superstardom of Mel Gibson and the endlessly ripped-off popularity of the wacky custom cars have been the most enduring elements of the original Mad Max movies in pop culture, Miller's truly fascinating conceit was imagining what a future of newly rebarbarianized humanity would look like trying to assemble new cultures and civilizations out of the half-remembered remains of our own. This time, though, there's actually a big, loud, radical point being made with these worlds as we see them, in a manner that probably would seem overly blunted on the nose, but feels downright subtle in a movie where one of Immortan Joe's war rigs comes with an array of speakers and a guy with a flame-throwing guitar strapped to it like a human hood ornament, because why wouldn't he have one of those? See, Furiosa isn't simply helping the Immortans' wives get away from him, she's helping them escape to her own homeland, a far-flung matriarchy reigned over by grandmotherly Amazonian motorcyclists who follow a gentle path of nurture and nature cultivation, but, with sniper rifles and dirt bikes because this is a Mad Max movie, where they hope to raise their offspring as anything but warlords under a philosophical rallying cry of who killed the world, asked in a way that leaves no doubt as to what the answer is. By contrast, the obscenely evil Immortan Joe rules over his subjects by way of a self-conjured religion comprised of equal parts car culture, gun worship, repurposed Viking mythology, and other uber-masculine honor culture staples that's yielded, among other things, an army of skinhead suicide soldiers called war boys eager to die in battle for their surrogate daddy's approval. Yes, this time it's a battle for the future of human civilization itself, with the heavy implication that it's stern father figure patriarchs like Immortan Joe that got the world into this mess, while Furiosa's Amazon naturalists represent hope and progress out of it. These are the kind of weighty ruminations you don't generally expect to get from movies where flamethrower guitarists are part of the set decoration. Bottom line, this time, you can believe the hype. Fury Road is one of the most brutal, bone-crunching action films in recent memory, one of the boldest, most original experiences of the year, and improbably one of the smartest works of dystopian sci-fi to emerge from the current deluge of the same. I know the film critic collective has overhyped this sucker to Kingdom Come, but seriously, you should just go see it anyway. It kicks fucking ass. See you around!